And now, the nations of the world.
But I teach you every country's history, geography, and culture.
Brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, Salvador, Puerto, Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and Chile, Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa, Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, Paraguay, Uruguay, Surinam, Guyana, Barbados, and Guam.
Norway is a Scandinavian country located in northern Europe. They have a rich Viking history dating back to the 9th century. Norway is known for its stunning fjords, mountains, and northern lights. Their official language is Norwegian, but Sami, spoken by the indigenous Sapmi tribe, is also recognized as a minority language. Norway has a population of approximately 5.4 million people, and their currency is the Norwegian krone. Their capital city is Oslo, famous for the Oslo Accords, and their current prime minister is Jonas Gahr Store. Norway shares borders with Sweden, Finland, and Russia. Fun fact, there is only one country separating Norway from North Korea, which is Russia. Social customs in Norway include punctuality, egalitarianism, and respecting personal space. Historically significant events include the Viking era, Norway's independence from Denmark in 1905, and Norway's alignment with the Axis powers during World War II. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Oslo Fjord, the Northern Lights, and the Jostedalsbreen Glacier. Norway's GDP is approximately $440 billion. Sweden is a Scandinavian country located in northern Europe. Sweden has a rich history dating back to the Viking era. Their country is known for its beautiful landscapes, archipelagos of forests, and lakes. The official language of Sweden is Swedish, but there are also 5 recognized minority languages, which are Finnish, Meänkieli, Sami, Romani, and Yiddish. Sweden has a population of approximately 10 million people, and their currency is the Swedish krona. Their capital city is Stockholm, famous for the Stockholm Syndrome, and their current prime minister is Uffe Kristersson. Sweden shares borders with Norway and Finland. Some social customs in Sweden include punctuality, egalitarianism, and respecting personal space. Historically significant events in Sweden include the Viking era, the Kalmar Union in the 14th century, and Sweden's neutrality during World War II. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Stockholm Archipelago, the Ice Hotel, and the Abisko National Park. Sweden's GDP is approximately $550 billion.
And Iceland.
Iceland is a Nordic country located in the North Atlantic Ocean. Iceland is known for its rugged landscapes, geysers, and hot springs. The official language of Iceland is Icelandic, while English is also widely spoken. Now, Iceland has a very small population of only 360,000 people. Yet their soccer team is so powerful, interestingly enough. Their currency is the Icelandic krona, and their capital city is Reykjavik, and their current prime minister is Guðni Sthrolasius Johannesson. Not sure if I said that right. Iceland is geographically isolated and has no land borders because it's an island. Some social customs in Iceland include a strong sense of community, which makes sense because the population is so small, respect for nature, and a relaxed attitude towards timekeeping. Some historically significant events include the settlement of Iceland in the 9th century, Iceland's independence from Denmark in 1944, and the 2008 financial crisis. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Blue Lagoon, the Vatnajökull Glacier, and the Geyser geothermal area. Iceland has a GDP of approximately $23 billion. An interesting fact about Iceland is that they don't technically have last names. In Iceland, a person's assigned last name is just the name of his or her father, plus the word daughter or son, depending on if the person's a male or female.
And Finland.
Finland is a Nordic country located in northern Europe. Their official languages are Finnish and Sweden, with a population of approximately 5.5 million people. Finland has a unique culture which emphasizes egalitarianism and the importance of nature. Fun fact about the Finnish language is actually a Uralic language and is not a North Germanic language like Swedish and the Norwegian, interestingly enough. Historically, Finland has been heavily influenced by both Sweden and Russia and has a long history of a struggle for independence. Important landmarks include the Helsinki Cathedral, a neoclassical landmark of the capital city, and the Northern Lights, a natural light display visible in the northern parts of the country. Finland's GDP is 20, Finland's GDP is 236 billion US dollars and the currency is the euro. Their capital city is Helsinki and they border several other countries, including Russia and Sweden.
Then Germany now want peace.
Deutschland, Germany, is a Central European country known for its rich culture, economy, and stunning landscapes. The official language is German, and there are also many minority languages spoken in Germany. Turkish is widely spoken in Germany by immigrants, which may or may not be considered a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who you ask. Germany has a population of approximately 83 million people, and the currency is the euro. Germany is the most populated country in Europe. Well, okay, technically Russia has a higher population than Germany. However, a lot of Russia is in Asia. If we only consider the European part of Russia to be part of the Russian population, then Germany is the most populated country in Europe. Their capital city is Berlin, and their current chancellor is Olaf Scholz. Germany shares borders with 9 other countries: Denmark, Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria, Switzerland, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Now, some social customs in Germany include punctuality, a direct communication style, and respect in personal space. In Germany, being on time is a really serious issue, and working hard is also a serious issue, which is part of why Germany has the biggest economy in all of Europe. Despite being a teeny tiny country, Germany actually has a higher GDP than all of Africa combined. Yes, Germany, this tiny country, has a higher GDP than all of Africa combined. Germany has a GDP of approximately 4.2 trillion US dollars. Germany is an economic powerhouse. Also, Germany is basically the leader of the European Union. Like, Germany is unofficially the leader of the European Union economically because Germany has a super powerful economy. They produce the world's best cars and everything. They are super powerful. Historically significant events include the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. Hence, that's why Yakko said Germany now in one piece. Because Germany, like before 1989, Germany was split into East and West Germany, and they were united nearing the fall of the Soviet Union. They reunified in 1990. And other historically significant events in German history include the Holy Roman Empire, which was the First Reich. The First Reich was the Holy Roman Empire, which is kind of a misnomer because the Holy Roman Empire was not holy, it was not Roman, and it was not an empire. It was the First Reich of Germany. And in the Second Reich of Germany was the German Empire, which was led by Kaiser Wilhelm the Great from 1871 until 1918. It was a really powerful empire. The Second Reich, which was the Imperial German Empire, had some colonies in Africa. Pretty powerful, most powerful country in World War One. And yeah, so I've talked about the First and Second Reich, and we don't need to talk about the Third because I don't want to get demonetized. Anyway, some important landmarks and geographical features include the Brandenburg Gate, the Neuschwanstein Castle, and the Black Forest.
Switzerland.
Switzerland, an interesting country. Switzerland is landlocked in Central Europe, known for its stunning alpine scenery, chocolate, and banking. The official languages of Switzerland are German, French, Italian, and Romansh. Basically, the majority of Switzerland speak German. German is the majority language of Switzerland. However, the parts of Switzerland that border France speak French. The parts that border Italy speak Italian. Switzerland has a population of approximately 8.5 million people, and the currency is the Swiss franc. Even though they speak German, they actually speak this interesting variety of German called Swiss German, which is actually very different than the German spoken in Germany and Austria. Now, the capital city of Switzerland is Bern, even though Zurich and Geneva are the largest cities. Geneva is famous for the Geneva Conventions. Everyone thinks Geneva is the capital of Switzerland, even though it's Bern, not Geneva. Switzerland borders Germany, Austria, Liechtenstein, Italy, and France. Um, some historically significant events in Switzerland. Well, basically, we all know Switzerland was neutral during World War One and World War Two, despite being the very center of Europe. Despite being the very center of all the fighting in Europe, Switzerland was neutral in both world wars. They did not fight in these wars. And it is something that a lot of people find confusing, but it makes sense because Switzerland, they still have conscription. They had conscription and still do. They have a pretty strong military, and they're not interested in war. And also, nobody invaded Switzerland because Switzerland, it's really hard to invade due to the natural geography. And it just isn't worth it to invade Switzerland. The Swiss Confederation was established in 1848 and there was a reformation. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Matterhorn, Lake Geneva, and the Rhine Falls. Switzerland's GDP is approximately 700 billion US dollars. Austria is a Central European country known for its stunning alpine landscapes, classical music, and art. Austria is famous for their classical music and art. They produce some of the world's best art. The Austrian Vienna Academy of Fine Arts has some amazing artists. Well, in the past they had amazing artists, but these days, in my opinion, the art isn't as good as it was back then. And I heard that the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts has a much higher acceptance rate today than before, which that might be the reason why their art, in my opinion, is not as good as it was before. Some famous artists from Austria, so some I know a lot of famous artists in Austria, such as Wolfgang, what's his name? Wolfgang Mozart. He's a famous musician, and there are many other famous musicians, composers, artists from Austria. The list goes on and on. I could go on forever, but we don't have time. So Austria speaks German as their official language, and they have a population of approximately 8.9 million people, and the currency is the euro. Their capital city is Vienna, and their current chancellor is Karl Nehammer. Austria shares borders with Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Italy, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein. Some social customs in Austria include punctuality, a very formal demeanor, and respect for traditions. Some historically significant events in Austria include, well, I I can't really talk about a lot of Austrian history because I would probably get demonetized if I talked about it. So basically, we had the Congress of Vienna in 1815. We had the Austrian Empire, which was huge. The reign of Empress Maria Theresa was pretty powerful. Also, until 1918, Austria and Hungary were part of a united kingdom known as the Austro-Hungarian Empire, also known as Austria-Hungary. During World War One, Austria was part of the Central Powers, which they ended up losing and was forced to cede a lot of land to a bunch of ethnic minorities in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So, Austria is a pretty powerful country. Well, was a pretty powerful country. I mean, it still is kind of, but today Austria is just seen as just a weaker form of Germany, basically. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Hofburg Palace, the Salzburg Cathedral, and the Danube River. They have a GDP of approximately 500 billion US dollars.
Czechoslovakia.
The Czech Republic is a Central European country known for its beautiful architecture, rich history, and beer, obviously. The official language is Czech, while Slovak is also widely spoken. They have a population of approximately 10.7 million people. Their currency is the Czech koruna. Their capital city is Prague, and their current prime minister is Peter Fiala. The Czech Republic shares borders with Germany, Poland, Slovakia, and Austria. Some social customs in the Czech Republic include punctuality, a reserved demeanor, and a strong sense of hospitality. Historically significant events include the Velvet Revolution in 1989, the Munich Agreement in 1938, which forced the Czech Republic to give up a ton of land, and there was the establishment of Czechoslovakia in 1918, following the end of World War I and the fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which allowed Czechoslovakia to exist. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Charles Bridge, the Prague Castle, and the Krknose Mountains. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. The Czech Republic's GDP is approximately 300 billion US dollars.
Italy.
Italia is a southern European country known for the rich history, art, and cuisine. The official language is Italian, but there are also some minority languages such as German and Slovene. German, which is spoken in South Tyrol, which is part of Italy. Italy has a population of approximately 60 million people, and the currency is the euro. Their capital city is Rome, and the current prime minister is Giorgia Meloni. She is the first woman to become the prime minister of Italy. But she is also kind of controversial because some people label her as a fascist because of her conservative beliefs and her traditional family values. But honestly, I think it's pretty good that Italy finally elected their first woman to become the prime minister rather than a bunch of old men. Not that there's anything wrong with old men, just that, you know, it's it's good that there's like a change finally in Italy. So, Italy borders France, Switzerland, Austria, and Slovenia. Their social customs include dressing fashionably and enjoying leisurely meals. Some historically significant events include the Roman Empire, the Renaissance, and Italy's unification in 1861. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Colosseum, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and the Amalfi Coast. Italy is also known. Well, fun fact about Italy, there are actually two nations that are entirely bordered within Italy, which are Vatican City and San Marino. These two nations are entirely enclosed inside Italy, interestingly enough. Italy's GDP is approximately 2.1 trillion US dollars.
Turkey and
Turkey, also known as Turkey. Well, they call themselves Turkia. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Yeah, anyway, so Turkey is a transcontinental country located in both Europe and Asia, known for its diverse culture, history, and cuisine. Their official language is Turkey, and they have a population of approximately 83 million people. Their currency is the Turkish lira. Their capital city is actually Ankara, not Istanbul. Even though Istanbul is the most populated city in Turkey, their capital city is actually Ankara. Now, back then, during the Ottoman Empire, their capital city was Istanbul, but now that Istanbul is like kinda an outpost of Turkey, it's no longer their capital city. Their capital is now Ankara. Also, fun fact, a lot of people don't know this, but the city of Istanbul was used to be known as Constantinople, but it was renamed to Istanbul by the Ottoman Empire. The current prime minister is Recep Tayyip Erdogan. And fun fact, in the Turkish elections, a lot of people who vote in the Turkish elections are not actually in Turkey. They are Turkish citizens but don't live in Turkey. Interestingly enough, Turkey shares borders with Greece, Bulgaria, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. Some social customs in Turkey include hospitality, modesty, and respecting elders. Historically significant events include the Ottoman Empire, the Gallipoli campaign in World War I, and the founding of the Turkish Republic in 1923. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Blue Mosque, the ancient city of Ephesus, and the Bosphorus Strait. Turkey's GDP is approximately 700 billion US dollars. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Istanbul is actually the largest city in all of Europe. Yeah, like by population. Yeah, interesting, right?
Greece.
Greece is a southern European country in the Balkans known for its ancient history, beautiful islands, and cuisine. We know a lot of people associate the Greek language with mathematics because like a lot of famous mathematicians were Greek. Yeah, the official language is Greek and they have a population of 10.7 million people. They use the euro as the currency and their capital city is Athens. The current prime minister is Kyriakos Mitsotakis. Greece shares borders with Albania, North Macedonia, and Bulgaria. Some social customs in Greece include hospitality, a laid-back lifestyle, and a strong emphasis on family. Historically significant events include the birthplace of democracy in Athens, the ancient Olympic Games, and the Greco-Persian Wars. And important landmarks and geographical features include the Acropolis, the island of Santorini, and Mount Olympus. They have a GDP of only 200 billion US dollars, which is still good, I guess, but like they've had some economic struggles, I gotta say.
Poland.
Poland is a Central European country known for its rich history, stunning architecture, and beautiful landscapes. The official language is Polish, and Poland has a population of approximately 38 million people, and the currency is the Polish zloty. Not sure if I said that right. The capital city is Warszawa, also known as Warsaw, and the current prime minister is Mateusz Morawiecki. Okay, I don't think I pronounced that right, but whatever. Poland shares borders with Germany, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, and Russia. Yes, Poland borders Russia through the Kaliningrad exclave of Russia. Social customs in Poland include greeting with a handshake, bringing a small gift when visiting someone's home, and taking shoes off when entering a home. Historically significant events include the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which was Poland at its greatest extent. It was really big. World War II and the Solidarity Movement. Poland is often known as the abused child during World War II because they were simultaneously invaded by both Germany and the Soviet Union, and as hard as the Polish people fought, they unfortunately were not able to withstand both superpowers crashing in on both sides. Now in more modern times, some important landmarks and geographical features include the Wawel Castle, the Tatra Mountains, and the Masurian Lakes. Poland's GDP is approximately 600 billion US dollars.
Romania.
Romania is a southeastern European country in the Balkans, known for its beautiful landscapes, rich history, and unique culture. The official language is Romanian, and they have a population of approximately 20 million people. The currency is the Romanian leu. The capital city is Bucharest, not to be confused with Budapest. Budapest is the capital of Hungary. Bucharest is the capital of Romania. The current prime minister is Klaus Iohannis, and they share borders with Hungary, Serbia, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and Moldova. Social customs in Romania include showing respect to elders, taking off shoes when entering someone's home, and historically significant events include the Dacian Wars, the Romanian Revolution of 1989, and Romania's entry into the European Union in 2007. So, fun fact about the Romanian language, the country of Moldova used to be part of Romania, but is no longer part of Romania after the Soviet Union took it. And fun fact about Moldova, in terms linguistically speaking, the official language of Romania is Romanian, and the official language of Moldova is called Moldovan. However, to Romanian people, they consider the Moldovan language to just be a dialect of Romanian, even though in Moldova they consider the Moldovan language to be a separate language. Anyway, so some important landmarks and geographical features in Romania include the Bran Castle, also known as Dracula's Castle, the vampires, the Danube Delta in the Carpathian Mountains, with a GDP of approximately 300 billion US dollars.
Scotland.
Scotland is a country located in the northern part of the island of Great Britain, known for its rugged landscapes, rich history, and unique culture. Now, this is actually kinda like in the gray area of what counts as a country and what doesn't count. Because Scotland could count as a country on its own, but it could also count as part of the United Kingdom, the country of the UK. The official languages of Scotland are English and Scottish Gaelic, even though they also speak Scots. So Scottish Gaelic is not to be confused with Scots. Scottish Gaelic is a separate language, which it's a Celtic language, very similar to the Irish language. But Scots is a dialect of English, but also could be considered a separate language. Some people consider Scots to just be English with a super heavy accent. Some people consider it to be a separate language. Anyway, so Scotland has a population of approximately 5.5 million people. Their currency is the pound sterling, like with the Great Britain. Their capital city is Edinburgh, and the current first minister is Nicola Sturgeon. Scotland shares a land border with England. Social customs in Scotland include a love for whiskey and a passion for music and dance. Some historically significant events include the Battle of Bannockburn, the Scottish Reformation, and the Jacobite Risings. Important landmarks and geographical features include Edinburgh Castle, Loch Ness, and the island of Skye. Scotland's GDP is approximately 260 billion US dollars.
Albania.
Albania is a small southeastern country located on the Balkan Peninsula, known for its stunning coastlines, rugged landscapes, and rich history. Albania is the only Muslim-majority country in all of Europe. Their official language is Albanian, and they have a population of approximately 3 million people, and the currency is the lek. Their capital city is Tirana, and their current prime minister is Edi Rama. Albania shares borders with Greece, North Macedonia, Montenegro, and also for those who consider Kosovo to be an independent country from Serbia, then Kosovo also borders Albania. Social customs in Albania include hospitality, a strong emphasis on family and respecting elders. Historically significant events include the Illyrian Wars, the Ottoman Empire, and the fall of communism, and some important landmarks and geographical features include the Albanian Alps, the Blue Eye Natural Spring, and the Albania Riviera. They have a GDP of only 15 billion US dollars, which isn't bad, I guess.
Ireland.
Ireland is an Eastern European country known for its rush landscapes, rich culture, and warm hospitality. The official languages are Irish and English, and they have a population of approximately 5 million people, and they use the euro as the currency. Fun fact, there are more Irish people in the US than in Ireland. But also sad fact, the Irish language is a dying language because these days most people in Ireland do not speak Irish. They only speak English. Their capital city is Dublin, and the current Taoiseach, which is the prime minister, is Michael Martin. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Ireland shares a border with Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom. Some social customs in Ireland include a love for conversation, a strong sense of community, and a passion for music and dance. Historically significant events include the Easter Rising, the Great Famine, and Ireland's fight for independence from Great Britain. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Cliffs of Moher, the Ring of Kerry, and the Giant Causeway. Ireland's GDP is approximately 370 billion US dollars.
Russia.
Russia is the largest country in the world by land area, spanning across two continents, Asia and Europe. It is known for its rich history and also controversial history, unique culture, and stunning landscapes. The official language is Russian, and they have a population of approximately 146 million people. The Russian population is actually decreasing. It has actually decreased quite a bit since 1991. Unlike a lot of countries whose populations grow, the Russian population has decreased. Their currency is the Russian ruble, and their capital city is Moscow, and the current president is Vladimir Putin. Um, Even though they have elections, many believe that their elections could be rigged and that Putin is actually a dictator, which I'm not surprised by that. Russia shares borders with Norway, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, China, and North Korea. Whoa, that's a lot of countries bordering Russia. Russia also has many border disputes, such as the dispute with South Ossetia, which Russia claims to be Russian land, even though Georgia claims to be part of Georgia. Russia also has some border disputes with Ukraine because of the Ukraine war, and we don't need to go into detail on that. So some social customs in Russia include respect for elders and a love for food and drink. Historically significant events include the Mongol invasion, where the Mongolian Empire took over Russia, the reign of the Tsars of Russia, and the Russian Revolution. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Red Square, the Kremlin, and the Lake Baikal. Russia's GDP is approximately 1.7 trillion US dollars.
Hungary.
Hungary is a landlocked country located in Central Europe known for its rich history, stunning architecture, and unique culture. The official language is Hungarian, and they have a population of approximately 10 million people. Their currency is the Hungarian forint. Their capital city is Budapest, and the current prime minister is Viktor Orban. Hungary shares borders with Austria, Slovakia, Ukraine, Romania, Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia. Oh, so Hungary, not to be confused with the word Hungary, speak a Uralic language, which is interesting because, like, the Uralic language family, which includes the Hungarian language and the Finnish language, it's just interesting. I could go into the linguistics and historical linguistics, but that could be for another video. So, some social customs in Hungary include hospitality, a love for traditional Hungarian food and drink, and a passion for music and dance. Historically significant events include the Kingdom of Hungary, the Ottoman occupation, and Hungary's fight for independence from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Well, not exactly. They backed when Hungary was part of Austria, they didn't like it, so they established the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which was a joint empire. Anyway, so important landmarks and the geographical features include the Danube River, the Buda Castle, and the thermal baths of Budapest. Remember, the capital city is Budapest, not to be confused with the capital of Romania, which is Bucharest. Hungary's GDP is approximately 168 billion US dollars.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria is a country located in southeastern Europe in the Balkans, known for its rich history, stunning landscapes, and unique culture. Their official language is Bulgarian, and they have a population of 7 million people. Their currency is the Bulgarian lev. Their capital city is Sofia, and their current prime minister is Kirill Petkov. Bulgaria shares borders with Romania, Serbia, North Macedonia, Greece, and Turkey. Some social customs include hospitality, respect for elders, and a love for traditional Bulgarian folk dance and music. Historically significant events include the Bulgarian Empire, the Ottoman occupation, and Bulgaria's communist past. Important landmarks include the Rila Monastery, the Black Sea coast, and the Balkan Mountains, and they have a GDP of approximately 70 billion US dollars.
Cyprus.
Cyprus is an island located in the eastern Mediterranean Sea, known for its beautiful beaches, ancient history, and unique culture. The official languages are Greek and Turkish, and there are some ongoing disputes between Greece and Turkey regarding who this island belongs to. Their population is 1.3 million people, and they use the euro as the currency. Their capital city is Nicosia, and the current president is Nikos Anastasiadis. Cyprus shares maritime borders with Turkey, Lebanon, Egypt, Israel, and Syria. Some social customs in Cyprus include hospitality, a love for traditional Cypriot food and drink, and a passion for music and dance. Historically significant events include the rule of various empires, such as the Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, and Ottoman Empire, and the division of Cyprus between Greek and Turkish Cypriots. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Troodos Mountains, the ancient city of Korion, and the Blue Lagoon. Cyprus's GDP is approximately 28 billion US dollars.
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands, also known as Holland in some languages, is a small country located in Western Europe known for its scenic beauty, windmills, tulips, and cultural heritage. The official language is Dutch, and they have a population of approximately 17 million people. Their currency is the euro, and their capital city is Amsterdam. Their current prime minister is Mark Rutte, even though they have just elected a new prime minister named Geert Wilders. Geert Wilders is the newly elected leader of the Netherlands, and he is kind of controversial. Some people accuse him of being a far-right fascist, but we don't need to go into detail. The Netherlands shares borders with Germany and Belgium. Some social customs include punctuality, respect for personal space, and egalitarianism. Historically significant events include the Dutch Golden Age, the Netherlands' role in World War II, and its history as a colonial power, having colonized South Africa, Indonesia, Surinam, and some other countries. Important landmarks and geographical features include the canals of Amsterdam, the Keukenhof Gardens, and the Wadden Sea. Their GDP is approximately 886 billion US dollars, and they're a pretty cool country. Yeah.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg is a small landlocked country located in Western Europe known for its beautiful countryside, strong economy, and cultural heritage. They have many official languages. The official languages are French, German, and Luxembourgish. The Luxembourgish language is very similar to German, but it is not a dialect of German, contrary to popular belief. Luxembourg only has a population of approximately 600,000 people, and they use the euro as the currency. The capital city is Luxembourg City. Even though Luxembourg itself is kinda a city, the current prime minister is Xavier Bettel, and Luxembourg shares borders with Belgium, Germany, and France. Social customs in Luxembourg include punctuality, a respect for personal space, and a strong sense of community. Historically significant events included strategic importance in World War II, the establishment of the European Union, and the country's history as a duchy. Important landmarks and geographical features include the Bach Casemates, the Ardennes Forest, and the Moselle Valley. They have a GDP of approximately 80 billion US dollars.
Belgium.
Belgium is a small country located in Western Europe known for its chocolate, waffles, beer, and cultural heritage. The official languages are Dutch, French, and German. German is only spoken in some regions in East Belgium, only a few small regions, while Dutch and French are the main languages of Belgium. French is spoken in southern Belgium in Wallonia, and Dutch is spoken in northern Belgium in the region of Flanders. The population of Belgium is approximately 11.7 million people. They use the euro as their currency, and their capital city is Brussels, famous for their Brussels sprouts. So the current prime minister of Belgium is Alexander De Croo, and Belgium shares borders with the Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg, and France. The Belgium is the seat of the European Union, having the capital of the EU being located in Belgium. And Belgium is also has a dark history as a colonizer in Africa. If you are very familiar with history, you would know about Leopold II, the king of Belgium, who committed some pretty horrible atrocities in the Belgian state of Congo, which was a colony of the Belgian Empire. Yeah, it's pretty dark history. I'm not gonna really go into detail on that because I don't want to get demonetized. Anyway, so some important landmarks and geographical features in Belgium include the Atomium, the Grand Place in Brussels, and the Ardennes Forest. They have a GDP of approximately half a trillion US dollars.
And Portugal.
Portugal is a country located in southwestern Europe known for its beautiful beaches, warm climate, and cultural heritage. They speak European Portuguese as their official language, also known as Continental Portuguese, which is very different than the Portuguese that most of us associate with the Portuguese language, which is spoken in Brazil. European Portuguese, aka Continental Portuguese, that's spoken in Portugal, is actually very different than that of Brazil. But anyways, that's kind of for a different story. Portugal has a population of 10 million people. They use the euro as the currency. Their capital city is Lisbon, and their current prime minister is Antonio Costa. Portugal only shares borders with one country, which is Spain. Social customs in Portugal include a love for food, respect for family values, and a strong sense of community. Some historically significant events include the Age of Discoveries, the Carnation Revolution in its history as a colonizer in Brazil, Angola, Mozambique, and a few other places. Portugal is also famous for the Treaty of Tordesillas, which was a treaty between Portugal and Spain to divide the whole world among these two countries. We probably know that that didn't really age well. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Belém Tower, the Jeronimos Monastery, and the Algarve beaches. They have a GDP of 230 billion US dollars.
France.
France is a country located in Western Europe known for its culture, cuisine, fashion, and iconic landmarks. Their official language is French, and they have a population of 67 million people using the euro as their currency. Their capital city is Paris, famous for the meme Who Was in Paris, and there are songs about people in Paris. Not going to go into detail, but I think you all know what I'm talking about. Their president is Emmanuel Macron, and France shares borders with Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, Spain, and Andorra. Some social customs include a strong emphasis on politeness, respect for personal space, and a love for good food and wine. Historically significant events include the French Revolution, the two World Wars, and France's colonial empire, as well as Napoleon, famous for the meme called "There's Nothing We Can Do." Um, so yeah, the French Revolution is also a pretty popular meme. I'm not gonna go into detail on that because I don't want to get demonetized. Anyway, so some important landmarks and geographical features in France include the Eiffel Tower, the Palace of Versailles, which is famous for the Treaty of Versailles, and the French Riviera. Their GDP is approximately 4 trillion US dollars. England, contrary to popular belief, is not a city. It is a country located in the United Kingdom, famous for its history, literature, culture, music, and cultural heritage. The official language is English, and this is where the gray area comes into play between what counts as a country and what isn't a country. Because England is kind of on the gray area between what counts as a country and what isn't. Because the United Kingdom is a country, and England is part of the United Kingdom, which should mean that England isn't a country, but depending on how you define a country, England could be considered a country. They have a population of 56 million people, and they use the pound sterling as the currency. They don't use the euro anymore because of Brexit. Their capital city is London, and their current prime minister is, well, they've switched the prime ministers so many times in the recent, few months, with Boris Johnson being replaced a few times, and now their prime minister is Rishi Sunak. England shares borders with Scotland and Wales. Social customs in England include a love for tea. Oh yeah, tea, definitely. They're famous for tea. Even though tea didn't even originate in England. They also have some cool etiquette, and they have a royal family, and they still practice a lot of really old traditions from the royal family with their etiquette and stuff. Historically significant events include the Industrial Revolution, the two World Wars, and England's colonial empire. So in England, they also have a lot of rain. It rains so often, and the climate in England is pretty bad. No offense, because of the Industrial Revolution and whatnot. But still, England still has a lot of important landmarks and geographical features, such as the Tower of London, Stonehenge, and the Lake District. England has a GDP of 2.8 trillion US dollars. Denmark is a country located in Northern Europe known for its design, architecture, and quality of life. The official language is Danish, which is a North Germanic language similar to Swedish and Norwegian. Their country has a population of 6 million people, and their currency is the Danish krone. Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, and the current prime minister is Mette Frederiksen. Denmark only shares borders with one country, which is Germany. Although you could technically say that Denmark shares borders with Canada, because Denmark technically owns Greenland as well as the Faroe Islands. Even though Greenland and the Faroe Islands aren't really part of Denmark, these territories belong to Denmark. So you could say that they share borders with Canada, because there's this uninhabited island in Greenland that shares borders with Canada, but that's a whole different story. So, Denmark is famous. So, some social customs include a love for a cozy and comfortable living in Denmark. They have historically significant events, including the Viking Age, World War II, and Denmark's role in the European Union. Some important landmarks and geographical features include the Tivoli Gardens, the Little Mermaid statue, and the Jutland Peninsula. They have a GDP of 300 billion US dollars.
In Spain.
Spain is a country located in southwestern Europe, known for its beaches, vibrant culture, and iconic landmarks. The official language is Spanish, obviously, and they have a population of 47 million people, and they use the euro as the currency. Spain's capital city is Madrid, and the current prime minister is Pedro Sanchez. Spain shares borders with Portugal, France, Andorra, and Gibraltar. And now Spain also has some exclaves in Africa, such as Melilla and Ceuta. So technically, Spain also shares borders with Morocco. yeah, something to know about. Social customs in Spain include a love for good food and wine, a relaxed attitude towards punctuality, and a strong sense of community. Historically significant events include the Spanish Civil War, the reign of fascist dictator Francisco Franco, and the Spanish colonial empire. Important landmarks and geographical features included the Alhambra, the Sagrada Familia, and the beaches of the Costa del Sol. Spain's GDP is approximately 1.3 trillion US dollars.
India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and Liberia, Egypt, Benin, and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mayor, and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia.
Alright, Yugoslavia was, and keep in mind, was a federal republic located in Southeast Europe in the Balkans. Keep in mind that Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore, and what is left is just Serbia. Yugoslavia has had a complex history, having been formed after World War I from the Kingdom of Serbia, Montenegro, and parts of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The culture of Yugoslavia was a blend of Slavic, Balkan, and Mediterranean influences, with multiple languages being spoken throughout the country. Now, social customs varied drastically across the different regions and ethnic groups of Yugoslavia, but hospitality and a strong sense of community were commonly shared values, not between the different ethnic groups of Yugoslavia, but between the, like, among themselves of the ethnic groups. So Yugoslavia had the main historically significant event of Yugoslavia was the Second World War, in which Yugoslavia for a few days were part of the Axis powers until there was a coup that made them draw out of the fascist powers. And then the Yugoslavia was instantly invaded by Germany and Italy and got carved up and occupied, and some puppet states were set up by the Axis powers. So the communist leader Josip Broz Tito rose to power after World War II in Yugoslavia, and they became a socialist state and played a prominent role in the non-aligned movement during the Cold War. Yugoslavia's country unity began to unravel in the 1980s because there are so many different ethnic groups within Yugoslavia that all have their own distinct cultures, identities, and languages. So yeah, what is left of Yugoslavia is often just considered Serbia. Yugoslavia's capital was Belgrade, but they no longer exist as a country, having disintegrated into several independent states in the 1990s, including Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Serbia, and Slovenia. So Yugoslavia is an interesting country, and like they have some cool history behind them. Their population was around 20 million in 1990 when they were about to break up, and Yugoslavia just unfortunately wasn't a stable state, which makes sense because when you have a state with so many different ethnic groups, they don't really, like get along together. I mean, this isn't just Yugoslavia. This is pretty much the whole Balkans. In the Balkans, they unfortunately, different ethnic groups in the Balkans don't really get along together. So Crete is the largest island in Greece and the fifth largest island in the Mediterranean Sea. Its history dates back to the ancient times, with the Minoan civilization being the most notable example. Their culture is a blend of Greek, Ottoman, and Venetian influences, with the Greek being the official language. Yeah, so Crete has the most historically significant event would be the 1971 earthquake that devastated the island. And some important landmarks include the Palace of Knossos, the Cimmerian Gorge, and the Venetian harbor in Chania. Crete has a population of approximately 635,000 people with a GDP of 10 billion euros. Their currency is the euro, as with the European Union, and their leader is the Governor Stavros Arnaotakis. I probably didn't pronounce that right. Sorry about that. So Crete is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea and is adjacent to the Greek mainland.
Mauritania, then Transylvania.
Transylvania is a region located in central Romania, surrounded by the Carpathian Mountains. Its history is closely associated with that of Romania, with the region being part of the Kingdom of Hungary until the end of World War I. The culture of Transylvania is basically just Romanian culture, and they have Romanian as their official language. Social customs include a strong emphasis on hospitality, food, and traditional festivals. Transylvania is famous for a lot of like folklore regarding vampires, and historically significant events include the Battle of Turda in 1479, in which the Hungarian army defeated the Ottoman Empire, as well as the 1989 revolution that toppled the communist regime in Romania. Historically significant events include the Bran Castle, the fortified churches of Transylvania, and the medieval city of Sighisoara. Again, I probably did not pronounce that right. Sorry if I didn't say it right. Transylvania has a population of 7 million people with a GDP of 225 billion US dollars. They use the Romanian leu as their currency, just like the rest of Romania, and their prime minister is Nicolae Ciuca. Transylvania is adjacent to several regions of Romania, including Wallachia and Moldova.
Monaco.
So Monaco is a city-state located on the French Riviera, bordered by France on three sides and the Mediterranean Sea on the fourth. Its history dates back all the way to the ancient times, but it became a principality in the 13th century under the House of Grimaldi. The culture of Monaco is influenced by French, Italian, and Monegasque traditions, with the French being the official language. Some social customs include a strong emphasis on luxury and entertainment, as well as respect for religious traditions. Because despite Monaco being a tiny city-state, Monaco has a super high GDP of 7 billion US dollars, which is super high, especially considering the fact that they only have a population of 40,000 people. Historically significant events include the signing of the Franco-Monegasque Treaty in 1861, which granted Monaco independence from France, and the marriage of Prince Rainier III to Hollywood actress Grace Kelly in 1956. Some important landmarks include the Prince's Palace, the Monte Carlo Casino, and the Oceanographic Museum. Their currency is the euro, and their leader is Prince Albert II. So Liechtenstein, just like Monaco, is also a tiny city-state that has a super high GDP despite its population being so tiny. Liechtenstein is a landlocked country located between Switzerland and Austria in the Alps. Their history dates back to the Holy Roman Empire, but it became a sovereign principality in the 19th century under the House of Liechtenstein. The culture of Liechtenstein is influenced by German, Austrian, and Swiss traditions, with German being their official language. They have a strong emphasis on nature, outdoor activities, and traditional festivals. Liechtenstein remained neutral in World War II and adopted a new constitution in 2003 that expanded democratic rights. Some important landmarks include the Vaduz Castle, the Gutenberg Castle, and the Rhine Valley. And Liechtenstein has a population of only 38,000 people, yet they have a GDP of 6 billion US dollars, which gives them a super high GDP per capita. They use the Swiss franc as their currency, and their leader is Prince Hans Adam II. Malta is an archipelago located in the central Mediterranean Sea, south of Sicily. Its history dates back all the way to the ancient times, with the Phoenicians, the Greeks, and Romans all leaving their mark on these islands. The culture of Malta is influenced by many different traditions, such as Italian and Arabic and British traditions. Maltese and English are the official languages of this archipelago, and they have some pretty cool traditional festivals and food. Historically significant events include the Great Siege of Malta in 1565, in which the Knights of Malta successfully defended the island against Ottoman invasion, as well as Malta's independence from Great Britain in 1964. Historically important historical landmarks include the ancient city of Medina, the Saflieni Hypogeum in the Blue Lagoon. Malta has a population of approximately 500,000 people and a GDP of 14 billion euros. The currency is the euro, and the current prime minister is Robert Abela.
Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.